Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Fastbreak here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona, and this time we're going to start out by talking women's basketball with head coach Scott Ballard. A split this weekend, so let's start with the good game first, and that was Wayne State. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, well, it was a fun Friday and a frustrating Saturday, and we played Wayne on Friday night. We knew it was going to be an intense physical game, and it was. We knew it was probably going to be a close game, just like the first time that we played. We got off to a really good start, and protected a couple people from foul trouble in the first quarter. And at one time in the first quarter, we had 4 freshmen out there together with Taylor Klug, and I think we had like an 18 to 11 point lead, whatever, and I think they get it down to 18 to 15 at the end of the quarter. And Coach Wirtz, she's going, "Coach, we got a lot of youth out there," and I go, "Yeah, I know. We got a little cushion to work with, see if we can get through this quarter," and we did. And I think we quit scoring when we had the 4 freshmen out there together, but they did a good job containing things, keeping under control. As the game went along, both teams would make runs at each other. I think we were up, 6 at half or something like that. Or were we tied? We were tied at half.
It might have been tied at half.
I think it was 33-33 at halftime. And both teams were doing a good job guarding each other. And they had made some adjustments offensively from the first time we played them because we, denied the elbow pass, which disrupted some of their quick hitters that they like to run. And we also decided this time we were going to go out and guard Bongartz harder than we did the first time because she hit several 15-footers. The downside of that is if you go out and guard everybody on the perimeter, then you're opening up the lane more for Norling, who's leading the league in scoring. And the first time we played them, she had 11, but Bongartz had 18, and so did Bussy, the point guard. But this time we took away the easy stuff for Bongartz, and Norling got more touches or opportunities to score in the lane. And so I think she still ended up with 20 or 21, but Taylor Husted did the same thing, so that was kind of a wash. But the third quarter we came out and played really well at both ends of the floor. I think we outscored them 10 in the third quarter. And we got it up to a 14-point lead early in the fourth quarter, and then like a good team, they made a run and got within 3. But so the last 4 minutes of the game, we really did a good job of taking care of the ball, getting good shots, converting, making an extra pass. And we did a good job at the defensive end as well. So I like the way we started the game and finished the game. There were some moments in between that could have been better, but that's kind of par for the course. And so that was a big win for us on Friday night.
All right, and then we have to get right into then Saturday in Augustana because, like you had said before, that Saturday after a Friday game has tended to be a tough one for you guys. And, we mentioned that on air, and we were hoping that would reverse, but it was a difficult first quarter. What happened in that first quarter?
Well, first of all, before the game started, Friday evening after our game was over with Wayne, we got to watch Augie's game against Upper Iowa, and it's like, oh no, they have totally changed their style of play and what they're doing defensively. And it's like they had not done this until Friday night.
Okay.
And so we have 45 minutes on Saturday morning to show some film, give our players a heads up, this is what to expect, walk through some stuff. But as far as getting physical reps that we needed, we didn't have that time. And we did a pretty good job, really, taking care of the ball against the press. We turned it over 2 or 3 times. But then we had some really silly things that we did with the ball in the front court. But the thing that was most disappointing in that game, the first quarter we're 1 for 16. You know, it's like even a blind squirrel can find an acorn now and then. You know, we were 1 for 16, and you know, I've watched the film a couple times, and we missed 2 or 3 bunnies that would have helped. We took 2 or 3 bad shots, which are like turnovers, and then we just didn't hit looks that we did the night before. And you know, I told the team after the game was over, it's like you very rarely are going to win a game in the first quarter, but you certainly can lose a game in the first quarter. And when it was all said and done, that's really what happened, because the second, third, and fourth quarter, there was a difference of 4 points between the two teams.
Right.
The game is over. You look at stats, we shot 38%, they shot 37%. If you would have told me that we shot better than they did, I would never have believed it. But it's like we told the team, how did we get outscored 17 points and we shot a better percentage than they did? Well, it came down to the fact that they got 17 more shots. We had 21 turnovers to their 15, so there's a difference of 6. And they had 15 offensive rebounds, and we have 2. So you can survive a low shooting percentage night if you're not turning the ball over more than your opponents, and you get offensive rebounds. It's a second chance opportunity. We didn't do either one, and so that's a bad formula. But you know, they're going to beat some people now with the way that they're playing. They came in here playing with desperation mode. They played harder than we did. They were more physical on the boards. You know, and they made us pay for some of the turnovers. It was a physical game. It wasn't called very close. And when you're playing against a team that presses a lot, you hope that it is called close. And we got down so much so early that we had to, you know, press more, gamble more, foul more, play younger people more, go with smaller lineup more. I mean, it forced us into having to do things that we normally wouldn't do for that extended period of time. But as I told them after the game was over, it's like every experience is a learning experience, but they don't all feel good. And that did not feel good. But the only way you get experience is to go through stuff like that. So we will file that away in our memory bank in case we meet them again or somebody else tries to simulate some of the things that they did. We have not played against zone very much at all this year, and it really showed up in that game because they played zone probably 75% of the time. So that we're going to get some work on it this week.
All right, very good. And the Warriors are going to be back home against Crookston and Bemidji this weekend. We're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, Taylor Klug will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. And now joining us is Taylor Klug. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, this is your second year on the team. You transferred from Minnesota State Mankato, so finally back out on the court. Tell us a little bit about what that year off the court was like and having to sit on the bench and watch all the action and what it's like now back on the court.
Well, honestly, it was a lot easier to sit on the bench having an injury, but Ballard can contest to it. I had a lot of struggles along the way with my injury, unfortunately, and that was really tough. In October, I ended up having a second surgery, so it was a long ride, but it was really nice having Ballard and Wirtz and the whole team having my back that whole time. But other than that, I gained a lot of experience being able to watch all their practices. Unfortunately, you don't gain as much as if you are out there playing, but it was nice still being able to be a part of the team, even though I technically couldn't play.
Did anything about your game change in that year off? And maybe it was because of the injury, maybe it was because of just sitting there, watching. But can you feel yourself playing maybe different than you did your first 2 years?
Yeah, I definitely would consider myself more of a shooter now, whereas before I'd be like a shooter and a driver, but we're trying to change that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about what you saw in kind of that year off and what she has now.
Oh, I seen somebody that was having to deal with a lot of unfair and unnecessary, setbacks, just one right after the other, and that wears on you mentally and emotionally, and so it was important. It was important to just keep letting her know that it's just another bump in the road. Just stay positive and have faith and believe that things are going to work out eventually. It's just taking longer than you want, and it'll be worth it. And it does my heart it does my heart good to see her every day being able to practice and go out there and play a game that she loves, knowing that she's still not 100% yet. She's getting closer. Every week she's getting better, and her strength, her stamina, her quickness, it's all improving gradually, probably slower than she wants. But I had to just keep reminding her, just remember where you were at a year ago, a month ago, a week ago, and and that's the mindset you have to get through something like that.
All right. Because you're a redshirt junior, and this is a younger team with no seniors, do you feel like you have kind of a leadership role, or you have something that you can contribute with, experience-wise?
Yes, I do, but it's also hard being a transfer because I don't know, like I wasn't with like the juniors their whole 2 years. I was actually playing against them, which sometimes is like, eh. But yeah, I definitely feel like I have a leadership role, especially with the younger kids, because it's like they don't know any different, like playing against me. But yeah, it's a different experience.
All right. I'm glad you brought that up about playing against this team.
Yeah.
What kind of insight does that give you, and how can you help the team by being on the other side and saying, hey, I noticed this when I was playing against you guys?
Yeah, it actually helps a lot, because especially when we were prepping for Cato, it's just like I was able to like just play their defense, and it's like, oh, I remember Allie saying, why does Klug know how to play their defense? And I was like, I played on their team for 2 years. And it was just funny, so it's like in that aspect I can help them prep more for that. And then on the other end, it's just like I knew all their tendencies, because I mean, we on the same end we scout and report them, and so it's just like you can just help them in the same aspect. Like this is what we saw. So.
All right, another home weekend this weekend. Tell us a little bit about what this weekend is like, having to come off that game against Augustana, and as we said, the Saturday troubles that you guys have had this year.
Yeah, I say this weekend is really important, not only because it's alumni weekend, but just because I know Bemidji they have some upsets, and especially with them being on Saturday, we definitely need to go 2-0 this weekend, in my opinion. But
Well, they beat Augie by 17.
yeah.
Wow.
And they only had 13 turnovers. They out-rebounded Augie by 14. I don't think Augie was playing with the same focus and energy that they did Saturday night. But, Augie's playing like their backs against the wall right now. And that bothered us. And we have to understand that every weekend you're getting closer to the end, and teams are going to start to realize what they are playing for with regards to playoff implications, and some teams are going to start playing with more of a sense of urgency because of that, and that's what we need to do as well.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us here, and
You
good
bet.
luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball with head coach Todd Eisner right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style. at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-60.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. We'll talk men's basketball now with head coach Todd Eisner. Let's start with the Wayne State game, a triple overtime game, a thriller, and it was fun to watch, but I suppose exhausting on the sidelines. Tell us about it.
Thriller, I guess, for other people. It wasn't very thrilling for us because we came out on the wrong side of it. Just didn't defend at a very high level. Really, we talked to our guys after the game, and then Saturday morning we had a segment in the first half from the 15-minute mark to the 10-minute mark where we held them without a field goal. And the rest of the 50 minutes, they shot 54% from the floor. And anytime you allow somebody to get comfortable offensively, your chances of winning the game aren't very good. And so we struggled on that end of the floor. And then offensively, obviously, we weren't very good the entire night and had some guys really struggle to make baskets. And, we hung in there. I think we were down 7 with under a minute to go in regulation, or the first, I think it was regulation. And fortunate to come back and get it to an overtime, and had multiple chances and just didn't finish the game. So it was a tough way to start the weekend.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because it was kind of that perfect storm to get you to overtime, because there was that one out of bounds play where Wayne State ends up touching the ball, and if they just let it go, the game probably would have been over at that point. And then Kevion Taylor knocks down the 3, Caleb Wagner gets the 3, and then you guys get to that overtime period.
Yeah, our guys did a nice job of battling, but we shouldn't have been in that spot to begin with. We had a couple of leads in the second half, I think 5 points. Al missed a wide open 3 that would have got it to 8 late that I think really would have kind of been a dagger, and it was a great shot. We want him shooting that all the time, and then we didn't check out at the end of the first overtime, I think, or the second overtime, I guess, when Penner made his only basket of the game, so it was just some breakdowns, some mental and physical breakdowns that put us in that spot. And then in the third overtime, they made more plays than we did and put themselves in a position to win the game.
All right, looking for some other bright spots in that game. Lobiando had his first double-double, 23 points and 11 rebounds, so he definitely had a pretty good game.
Yeah, Andre had a great weekend. His mother is here from Italy, and so I talked to her after the game and asked if she could move here because he was tremendous. He shot the ball really well in practice here in the last month, and he hasn't really been rewarded for it very much in games. But Friday and Saturday, he definitely shot the ball very well from the arc, which is something he's more than capable of doing. And if we can get him to do that here the last 12 games of the conference season, it would be really helpful for us.
All right. Now, one of the things that we talked about, and obviously it's easy for us to talk because we're not out on the court, is that we thought that maybe there would be some fatigue factor against Augustana because you play the triple overtime. Was that any concern with you heading into the Augustana
Yeah,
game?
no doubt about it. I mean, we talked to our guys right after the game about it. I mean, we played 4 guys, I think, close to 50 minutes, or actually all 5 might have played close to 50 minutes on Friday, and I wasn't real happy with myself. I didn't do a very good job of getting Luke Martins into the game in particular, who's been an important part of what we've been doing. I think he only played 5 minutes, and so I mentioned to our guys right away that we would have to have our bench ready to go. We'd probably put them into the game early just to get our guys into the flow a little bit and give the guys that had played a lot of minutes Friday a little bit of rest early. Thankfully, our guys really handled Saturday very well. It's the best defensive performance we've had all year, so maybe we should practice longer and practice harder and put our guys to the test more often because we guarded Augustana at a high level for 40 minutes and was the key to the game on Saturday.
All right, and then, let's talk about some of those players that got some minutes. Delonte Payton, I think, played a really good game. He had some key baskets, kind of getting the crowd into it and getting the team back into the game.
Yeah, we've been waiting for Delonte to kind of break back into his sophomore year. He had a really good sophomore year for us, and he just hasn't made shots. And he's taking good shots. They're shots he can make. They're shots he makes in practice all the time. And it's tough when you come off the bench. I think we mentioned it last week when you only get 1 or 2 shots in the time that you're in the game. If you don't make any of them, your shooting percentage is 0, and I think that can mess with your head a little bit. But he's teed up good shots. Both of his 3s on Saturday night were good-looking shots. He made one, which it was great to see. He had the breakaway dunk. He was active defensively, and if we can get Delonte a few more minutes here and give Al a little bit of a break at that position, I think it would be long-term. It would be very beneficial for us.
All right, the team seemed to have a different kind of outlook against Augustana, and I don't know if that was because of different rotations coming in during the game, it just kind of seemed to throw Augustana off their game. Do you kind of get that same sense as well?
Well, I thought defensively we took them out of what they're comfortable doing. We caught a break in that Cartwright, their leading scorer, has been out now for I think about since mid-December. But I thought Riemersma drove us crazy the last time, and we did a great job on him. We took away their isolation plays with him. I just thought overall, our defensive performance really frustrated them, and we've talked to our guys about that, ad nauseum. To be real honest with you, that if we can do that on a consistent level and play well offensively, we're going to be really good. If we can do the defensive things on a consistent level, it allows us on nights we're not going to make baskets to still be in the game. And for whatever reason, our guys have had a hard time doing that on a consistent level. And if we can do that here the last half of the season, on a more consistent level, I think our chances of having some success here moving into the postseason will be really beneficial to us.
All right, I know, again, one of the points of emphasis for you is getting to the line, getting free throws. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me as I was looking over the recaps from this weekend is that you had the second best free throw shooting percentage in the country at 81.6%. Unfortunately, the Wayne State game, I think it was 17 of 30 from the free throw line. So tell us a little bit about maybe trying to make that, again, the point of emphasis to try to get to the line.
Yeah, and I think I'm not even sure we are qualified in terms of this overall season stats to be second in the country just because we haven't shot enough. And I think usually they put a minimum amount of attempts to even to be statistically relevant on a national level. And but we've got guys who can make shots, and then that was the disappointing thing and not funny at all, but just kind of the stat that stuck out Friday night is, Kevion and Caleb both shoot free throws at a high level and both struggled at the line for them on that particular night. And if they have a normal night shooting free throws, we win the game. And those things happen, and that's why you don't let those type of things dictate the game. You let your defensive effort and your performance hopefully do a better job of dictating the game. But we want to get to the line. Certainly our ball screen motion is going to be something that gets us downhill to get into the paint to make plays, and it's just a matter of knowing how to seek out contact and still get the ball up on the rim, or seeking out contact and finishing plays, and we just haven't done a good job of being physical enough mentally to go out and seek those type of contact plays and then get to the line and reward ourselves with that.
All right, last minute of this segment. You're home again this weekend. Crookston and Bemidji. Tell us how you match up against those teams.
Crookston obviously has Harrison Clear. He's averaging 29 points a game. He had 36 or 7 against us in the postseason last year. He's got over 2,000 career points. I think he's the all-time leading scorer in the NSIC, or soon will be, and has had a tremendous 4-year career. We're going to be glad when he's done. So obviously he'll be a focal point, yet it's the first time we've really kind of let him go in the postseason and beat them. So, Dev will be on him, Caleb will be on him, Al will be on him, Delonte will be on him. We're going to throw different people at him throughout the game. And then the key to that also is not letting someone else go crazy too. Last year when we lost to him at their place, we did a decent job on Harrison, and then Knickerbocker had 30 points, who was averaging like 7 at the time. So we got to make sure we make him earn his points, and he's going to get his points. We just can't allow someone else to go crazy. And then Bemidji's much improved. They got a couple guys out with injuries right now. That's certainly been detrimental to them. But they should have beat Northern State, lost them in overtime. They were up 6 with 1:20 to go. And so they've got some great size inside with Thompson and Bader. And then they play Nick Wagner from GET. Is averaging 17 points a game for them, and we're going to have to do a good job on him also.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, Devin Whitelaw will join us right after this.
Drop down on your knees, now.
Alaska has the most extreme climate, the harshest terrain, and more violent crimes per capita than any other state. With under half the police they need,
there's only 2 officers protecting this whole town.
The government has declared a public safety emergency.
You want to get tased? Set the keys on top of the roof now!
Alaska PD, Thursdays at 9 on A&E.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. Joining us now is Devin Whitelaw. Thanks for being here today.
No problem.
All right, we didn't get to see you last year, so I want to talk about last year before we get into anything else, and the season that you had, especially the record that you set. We talk about it quite a bit, the assist-to-turnover ratio. What did that mean to you after the season to find out that not only did you set a school record, but a Division II record, and an all NCAA record?
I mean, it was a pretty cool experience. I mean, at first I really didn't know until I remember one day Chuck, he was telling me about it, and then as the season went on, like, it kind of stuck in my head. But it's never really one thing I was sort of chasing. I've just always been the type of player to try to get my teammates the ball in the right spots and put them in a spot where they can be successful. So I mean, this is just as much of theirs as mine, because they're the ones who really helped me get it. So it was a really cool experience, though.
All right, let me ask about you playing the point guard position then, because as we go through the games and we talk about them, we kind of refer to you as a true point guard and a ball distributor. Walk us through kind of your mindset as you're coming up the court with the ball and you're looking at what the defense is giving you, and your decision on whether to take the ball yourself and shoot or to distribute this to your teammates.
Well, my whole thing is just being aggressive. I know, like we talk about it every day with my coaches. Mavic's always on me about getting in the paint, whether that's for me to go score or just to suck people in and make plays. I mean, a lot of people are kind of, backing off me. They want me to shoot. And so, I mean, if I can get in the paint and draw help, then I get my teammates wide open shots. So that's really all I'm looking for. And I still got to be better making certain reads and being more confident in my own self. But I'm really just looking to draw help and get people open.
Okay. Tell me what you think Devin brings to the table.
Well, we're very fortunate. Anytime you've got somebody that plays with such a selfless mindset like Devin does, and then plays with a toughness and an energy level, and it makes our job a lot easier. And he makes his teammates' job a lot easier. So, we do have the consummate point guard on our team, and we talk to Dev all the time. I mean, his first thought is his teammates, and yet the scouting report on Dev is that's his mindset, so you don't have to guard him as much. And so we want Dev to be aggressive within what we're doing from a shooting standpoint, but we think he's a more than capable scorer, and we want him to be aggressive that way to make people then have to change the way that they're going to guard him with as many ball screens as we set. We want them to have to get up on Dev, and then it'll make him even more effective. But obviously what he did last year, and then his assist to turnover ratio in league play is even better this year. Right now, he just was in a little funk in the non-conference season where he was handing the ball to the other team a little too much, or he might be breaking his record again this year.
Right.
And so anytime you have that out of the point guard position, it hopefully is going to make everybody else's job easier and make your offense much better.
I want to ask you about the passing decisions and kind of off of what Coach said, it's kind of surprising when you do have a turnover. So tell us a little bit about what is it that makes you so good at distributing the basketball and not turning it over?
Well, my high school coach was really big on point guards need to take care of the ball. So, I mean, ever since my freshman year of high school, I was taught turnovers are just not an okay thing. But, I mean, personally, I'd be okay with a couple more turnovers as long as I'm getting a couple more assists a game. I think I need to be more of a riskier passer. Some I hold back just because it could be a turnover, but then it could also be a score. So, I mean, turnover is not really, it's not sitting in the back of my mind. I'm just looking to make the right read at the right time.
All right. I want to talk about your defensive effort then, too, because as Coach said, this weekend you're going to be against one of the top scorers in all of NSIC. How do you handle that kind of situation, and how do you feel guarding those type of players?
I mean, it really doesn't bother me. I take pride in defense. I mean, I'm going to fight everybody I'm put on, whether he's a point guard or four-man when we switch. That's just my mindset. In high school we did the same thing, so I'm always going to be the smallest, but my biggest thing is I can't let you out-tough me. So as long as I win that battle, then I feel pretty good about my chances.
All right, and what do the Warriors have to do this weekend to kind of get back on track and get another winning streak going?
We just have to be consistent. I mean, what we did against Augie, we're very more capable of doing that night in, night out. It's just a matter of doing it. And that starts with me, that starts with Cal. We just have to be more vocal as leaders, making sure all of our guys are engaged every time. So, I mean, as long as we do that, I think we'll be pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for watching Warriors Fast Break. We'll see you next time here on TV 25.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.